I'm just gonna use my phone, cause
Okay.
I got in on my phone fine, so. Not sure what's up with this thing.
I'll have to take it up with our local IT.
Alrighty. Alright. Alright, we'll call the meeting order at 6:02 PM. We'll call Carolyn,
Here.
Scott,
Here.
Brittany,
Here.
John,
Here.
and myself are here. Good night announcements. Nothing other than I don't have any dates in the committee in the.
Yeah, so October 6th is our committee of the whole, and just a reminder that October 28th is going to be our annual meeting as well as our regular board meeting.
27.
Or 27th, yeah, that Monday, so. Off the day, sorry.
Alright. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright, none. Can I get a motion to approve minutes from August board meeting?
A motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, treasurer's report.
All right, beginning balance was $95,264.33. Total receipts is $1,210,405.94. Total expenses was $408,977.64. Ending balance is $896,692.63. And the local government pool balance is $2,414,616.65.
Can I get a motion to approve treasurer's report?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright, approval expenditures. Can I get a motion?
I'll motion. Second.
Any questions on anything?
Yep,
Okay.
I have a question. So we spent $1,575 on pontoon rental,
That's during the summer, for the summer school.
okay?
On Thursdays, they rent a pontoon and they take kids out for fishing experiences.
So how do we determine who we're renting from? Did we bid it? Do we just, how did that?
No,
occur?
Julie usually, we used to get them from the inn and then we couldn't, there's something with theirs, so then Ashley and Dustin had pontoons that were on the lake through their Airbnb, and so she ended up just getting them through them.
Okay, well, I do too, and I am be willing to give mine for nothing next summer,
Awesome.
so. I'll just get with Julie then.
Okay. That sounds very good.
Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, no, we still have to, that's what. Alright, let's vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? No, okay. Moving on. Student council, nobody. Committee as a whole report. Anything we need to go over there? Okay. Eagles Wings Charter School update.
I think just taking a look at it, the biggest thing that we're taking a look at are some of the committees, the lead teacher role, and then also just expectations when it comes to the board and how they're conducting business, so.
Okay.
If there's anything else you want to add, John?
No, I know there was some discussion about, adding the lead teacher and trying to figure out if there was a cost for that, what cost there was that, I don't think that's been determined yet though.
Right.
Okay.
And, yeah, I'll have an update a little later on here, so.
Okay. Nathan, you're up.
All right, so our sports are certainly well underway after we last met in August. Football, they won on Friday night, so their record is actually 3-2 and 2-0, and they've got 2 home games left. One of them is on Thursday. Mellon canceled the rest of their season, so we had to pick up Lake Holcomb, but that'll be a Thursday night game instead of a typical Friday night game. And then they're home with Shell Lake on the 10th of October. That will be homecoming and parents' night, all wrapped into one. Cross country, they've got a couple meets left before sectionals. LCO is gonna host the conference meet this year. Because of our performance factor in cross country, we're actually gonna be in 2 different sectionals for cross country this year. The boys will participate in Rice Lake, a meet that they ran last week. So they will run there on Friday the 24th, and then the girls will run on Saturday the 25th, and that will be at Phillips. Because of that WIA performance factor, we are in for boys cross country in Division II for this year and for next year, unless we were to advance to state and acquire more points. As long as we acquired more points, we would stay. The way it's looking right now, we probably will not be doing that, just because that Division II is certainly a step up. So, but this year and next year for our boys in Division II cross country. High school volleyball, they are 6-2 and 2-1 in the conference. They had a match on Wednesday night up in Washburn, and they fell in 4. We did host a triangular this year, which is something that was new. Coach Simonson wanted to try to get a larger event here at school. So we did host a triangular. We're gonna try to expand for some more teams in future years. I know that part of the issue that we might run into is that this year, that first Saturday in September was not Labor Day weekend, but we might run into that as an issue in future years. I know the next 2 years, the first weekend of September is Labor Day weekend, so we'll have to try to figure out a date that will work and then try to see if we can get some more teams. Ideally, we'd like to get some Lakeland Conference teams and some Northern Lights Conference teams together to be able to play in a match that has some a bunch of regional level teams in it. We are going to have Parents' Night coming up on October 9th. Middle school girls basketball, they had 4 games last week. They had a busy week. They are still undefeated. They've got 8 games left on their schedule, and we're also going to have Parents' Night on the 9th. We've got both middle school girls and high school girls volleyball here that night, so we'll just do both of the Parents' Nights at the same time. And then our last sport going on right now is middle school football. They've played twice. They've got 2 games left to go, and their last home game is tomorrow. So that's a recap of where we're at. Last week I did attend the WIA area meeting. Every year WIA travels around the state, and they have a meeting in each of the 7 sections, and they go over some things. Really the only thing that's coming up in April that's on as a constitutional change is to try to streamline a little bit about how certain changes happen, constitutional changes happen through WIA. It has to go through sports advisory, coaches advisory, then sports advisory, then board of control. There's a whole ladder of steps that have to come up, and there's an effort to try to streamline some of that. Some of this stems from a couple of years ago when the shot clock was trying to get implemented, and it didn't pass at the coaches advisory and sports advisory, but then it got passed by the board of control, and there was some issues that the board of control was trying to overstep their bounds and the lower levels. So they're going to try to streamline this process so that things can still get passed. Now, one of the things that when it comes to something like the shot clock, which would be a financial burden on the districts, that still is going to go through an amendment through the membership. And there's discussion of altering the number of contests in sports seasons. That would be something else that wouldn't just be passed through. It would have to go to a vote by the membership. So.
What would the financial burden be? I mean, I assume it's just buying a clock.
Well, yeah, it would be, the reason that they talk about it being financial is there would be a cost to buy the shot clock, and then the cost of having that as a separate job each night that there is
Yeah, somebody's got
a
to
varsity
practice that.
contest. So that's, it's not the only reason why that has been a sticky point, but WIA knows that there is a financial component because, you know, most, well, I think there are some places that have them. In fact, I think this year, like a non-conference, you can have a non-conference game on, if both teams agree to it with a shot clock. So those schools will have it, but obviously most schools don't,
Yeah.
because it's not a requirement.
How many seconds are they looking at?
I think Minnesota is 35, so I would assume it
Probably
would be
about the
somewhere
same, yeah.
in that ballpark.
Is it the same at reset after, is it 35 or does it go down 10 after a basket?
Yeah, and that would be a good question, because the NFHS says that you can have a shot clock, but they don't, as far as I know, they don't spell out the exact logistics of how that needs to operate, because, you know, I know a long time ago, as soon as it hit the rim, it was reset, there wasn't less time, or it didn't reset to a different amount if there was a foul or something like that, which I know that those are rules that are in place for certain states and even at the college level, so it's not up for bid right now, but I think this is kind of a preparation for some of those things to come, so.
What do you think of having one or not having?
I kind of go back and forth on it. Generally speaking, I'm not in favor of having something like that. I've seen enough, especially back when we were on quarters in high school basketball, where the clock would get under 1 minute and everyone would hold on to the basketball because they didn't want to shoot it, because then the other team might get it.
Yeah.
And you'd hold on to it, and then you'd typically get a horrible shot, and you've held on to the ball for a minute. And
Yeah.
I see some issues with, okay, we've got a 35-second shot clock, okay, we've got 10 seconds left, and then we rush and we try to and we get a bad shot. There's already enough bad shots sometimes in high school basketball. I don't know if I want to see more bad shots because of a shot clock.
But
You
it's
know?
pretty maddening when you see a team stalling.
And
for
that's obviously the
3
flip
minutes.
of that, and I mean,
Yeah.
and our boys ran into that in the state tournament, you know.
They did.
Columbus Catholic made their free throws, so every time we followed them, they made free throws, and they were fast, and we couldn't get the ball from them, even though we had a very fast team as well. There's no incentive for them to shoot the basketball, and, so yeah, I mean, we've been in that position where
Yeah.
when we don't have one, it.
The
sometimes
McDonald
doesn't go
Catholic
our
did
way.
it the year before
Mhm.
too. in the,
Yeah. So-
Regional.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think, just from what I've read, there's probably more of the state wants it than doesn't want it. But I think that's also part of where WI says, well, we can't just unilaterally say we're gonna do this, because there is a cost factor to
Yeah.
the districts that they would have to absorb, so.
Thanks.
The only other big thing, and it wasn't even big, we kind of talked about sportsmanship and how to do better at sportsmanship during our contests. So we kind of did some breakout sessions and talking about like, well, what are the expectations in your gym, and how do you communicate those expectations, and what type of staff do you have to be able to answer the call if something happens, and what are the types of things that you communicate with other schools, or how are issues handled within your own building. So, you know, that's why these types of meetings are really good, because, you know, we know what we do here, and I think our staff does a pretty good job of dealing with those pieces, but then, you know, we're only of one size, and bigger districts, you know, they deal with things a little bit differently, and medium-sized districts deal with it differently, and so it's just good to hear all that input from those other schools on how they handle it. So. I have a coaching position to add. I know that will come up under personnel, but we did find a middle school boys basketball coach that I'd like board to consider for approval here later on in the meeting. And the last thing is, we had our golf scramble on Saturday. We had actually, we were full, and then one team didn't show. So we were one team short of a full group for the golf scramble. We had 34 of our athletes that came to work that event, and I think all but 2 of our coaches were at the event. Most of them playing golf, so that was a great. Obviously, we're too close to the event to kind of know what the final number is going to be, but I will anticipate. You know, the last couple of years we've been right around $17,000 or $18,000 raised by this event, and I would assume that we're gonna be there, again this year, so.
Good.
That's all that I have, unless there's any questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that leads us to Anna.
Yes, sir. So just a few updates and recognitions. First week of school went really well. We really honed in on our bigger areas as it relates to our positive behavior intervention and supports. And so we focused on that first week of our expectations with our students within our major areas such as hallways, playgrounds, our cafeteria, and then the other areas as well throughout the week. So a lot of positives. So it was really, really great to see and fun to see the students back. Another successful Ernie Swift camp for our 5th grade students. We had 24 total students attend. Huge shout out to Miss Reedy, Beth Reedy. She did a lot of work and coordination of the camp itself and helping volunteer counselors for the whole event. Charlotte Sanborn also provided an opportunity for our middle and high school students early on this year to attend the Pack Drum Line at Big Top Chautauqua. A lot of the activities that they engaged in integrated across many diverse academic subjects through the art of drumming. So it's great for our students to participate in. And then Kelsey Ryder and the Student Council are currently working on collaborating with Northwood for a combined homecoming experience this week. And I have that noted later on what the dates of that are, so we are still kind of fine-tuning some of that information and what that's going to look like. PLC planning, so all of our collaboration times have been established with all of our building levels. We just recently did our planning and schedule. We finalized for this early release, for our first early release this Friday, and making sure that we're utilizing that time successfully, so we're encompassing that vertical collaboration amongst all levels of our staff. And then one component that we're kind of currently looking into is how we can possibly merge some of our leadership teams within the building, and just how the overall PLC team and concept. And so just those are some items that we're kind of looking into of combining. Upcoming events, we have our first state assessment, our Ames Web. That assessment window is starting, is it this week? Yep, this week. And then we have our fire prevention day for our elementary next week, or is it next week or the week after? October 3rd. Our homecoming week is October 6th. I believe the game is that Friday, the 10th, and we're looking at doing a pep rally for our students and a homecoming dance on Saturday. And then another assessment window is our in-district assessment that we utilize, our Fast Bridge, and that is October 1st through the 10th. And then just some of our upcoming work that we are continuing or starting. One update, staffing. We are currently in the process of finalizing the paraprofessional position that is currently open. So hoping to have that completed soon.
Well, thank you.
So just one item that Eagles Academy High School, do you guys have any concern that we have 4 students in that to 1 teacher? That's a great ratio for,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's,
Yep.
I'm a little concerned about there's a cost benefit
Right.
going here.
And in previous years, we had a teacher assistant that's been in there, that's been removed and reduced, so.
Yeah.
And utilizing him across the board more. Yes, that is a concern long term.
If this is an anomaly year,
Right.
that's fine, but
If this continues, we're gonna
if
have to
it's a
talk
single
more.
digit, yeah, it's,
Absolutely.
okay.
So,
Just
no,
something to keep on everybody's radar.
Right. No, we appreciate that, so.
All right, you're up, Pete.
All right. So just a couple things to go on. So last year, we kind of wrapped up our year talking about a potential grant to pay for our dishwasher. Well, it got stretched out, and finally said, nope, he didn't make it. So, with pricing increases and tariffs and whatnot, there's a definite increase from the quote we had there. So I was working on trying to get other quotes available for the board to make a determination. Leanne, I've already been talking about putting this in the budget for this year. That's kind of where we left it last year as well.
What was
So
our previous quote?
it was like
14?
14,800 or something like that, so.
And just, so you know, that one's taking another increase in a week.
Yeah, so,
That manufacturer's increasing.
yeah.
October 3rd.
Are these
So-
not American manufactured dishwashers or?
Oh, yeah.
It is.
So it's the aluminum or? I mean,
Stainless.
how would the-
All of your metals.
Yeah.
Stainless, the components,
Yeah.
everything's gone up.
So.
One's made in California, one's made in Kansas City, Kansas.
I would say that the number of vendors is extremely limited for the item that we're trying to get, because I think there are a number of vendors that sell these smaller versions where it's just the door open, you put it in, wash it and out, versus the one we have as a conveyor, which is far more efficient, kicking out 244 trays versus, 40.
Yeah.
So, that's the only.
Honestly, if I looked at it, I wouldn't put a conveyor. But that's me, and I'm a dish guy.
That is a choice that the board can make.
Yeah,
All
I mean,
know is I'm going.
I would have to see how many racks you're doing a day.
Yeah,
If you're doing 400 to 500 racks a day, yes. If you're
Alright.
doing 50 to 100, you can get away with. Other schools our size don't really have doors. Washburn has door models. They're bigger.
okay, and if it is something that the board wants to entertain and looking at different ideas, we can certainly do that.
That would cut the cost down by a third, or 2/3.
It would cut the cost.
I mean, unless the kitchen staff says, no, we
was
gotta
gonna
have a
say.
conveyor.
I would say that's where you run into the issue, because we're also running on, one full-time two full-time persons and one part-time in there, so, and they're running breakfast and lunch. So, I mean, it's
So what is
worse.
what is wrong with the one right now? Because I know I can rebuild these things for about 40 years.
Because it is quickly approaching that, so, and it's already been fixed and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't, I
So-
thought that one
It
was
hasn't
new.
had the Brad fix though.
The
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm wondering because I haven't looked at it yet.
Okay.
So, yeah.
whatever the board wants, if we want to delay this and investigate this a little more, we certainly can.
It's gonna go up in another month, I know that though, so.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Well, if you're willing to look, just to look at it and see.
I mean, these machines are made to be redone, and as long as it's taken care of, and from what I've seen this one, it's really not in the worst shape I've seen things.
You're
way
correct.
worse.
I know that we had taken a look at this and there was some concern about the machine and the availability of parts, et cetera. And that's why we looked at the grant, and then also, if the grant fell through, putting it on the agenda for this year, for funding.
Yeah,
So-
that specific machine, they haven't changed really much component-wise, but for the
So-
new ones, so.
So, I will take any direction. All I know is, I can put it on on the agenda for next month. We can discuss and make decisions based on that. I can bring all the information that I have, so.
Okay.
All right. Next one, softball field. I know that we're trying to do some work down there to get in preparation for the 26th season. So one of the items that we purchased through Mertz Rookie funds was the attachment to the tractor for aerating fields and grooming, and Mark is at it, which I think will help improve just the overall sod and make our fields even better, which is great. And then Mikey Simonson, he's very helpful and very ardent supporter of the softball team and trying to get things taken care of. I know we had a number of tall trees that were shading the third field side of the infield. So we're eliminating those, so it'll have direct sunlight, so it'll clear faster in the spring. And he's just cutting them down and limbing them, and we're gonna try to get those in chunks and cut for lumber for our tech ed program, so.
Okay.
So nice red pine trees there, so. Next one, we've talked about this a little bit, the WASB regional meeting, once again, Ashland on the 14th and Rice Lake on the 15th. I know that Brad and I are gonna be going to the one in Rice Lake, so.
Does that start at 6?
It does.
I didn't see times on any of that
Yeah,
stuff.
so I will make sure to pass that on, so. Building evaluation, so we had a team from Markin and Johnson and River Valley Architects in. They want to present information to the district at our October committee of the whole or their regular board meeting. They'll have a rough draft ready to go for the October 6th, but I'm leaning towards the 27th.
27.
Yeah, where it's more of, they've got all the information as far as breakdowns on what's good and bad, also recommendations on how we can make our facility even more efficient, and then also costs with it, so. And then, all right. This is a little thing, but to me it's a big thing. All right, in the district, so if people would walk up to the main doors, you'd see stuff posted on the doors there. Well, that ain't great, correction, let me get proper English. That is not wise. There's a film that was put on those door windows that is bullet resistant, so it slows down impact on the first, and then, so it takes a little bit longer for entry. And when you start putting adhesive tape on the back of that, it starts to degrade that film and makes it less effective. So removing that. So what we have installed, if you look outside the elementary entrance, there's a nice box with plenty of space to post stuff. So we've been utilizing that, so anyway. So if you don't see it on the door, look over there, so.
Cool. That it?
Yes, it is.
Alright. No public comment, I'm assuming, because there's nobody here. Personnel recommendations. Heather Gamache?
So you just want to explain that a little bit. Heather Gamache was originally approved for that position, and due to personal stuff, withdrew her acceptance very shortly afterwards. And that's where that position has remained posted and was interviewed.
Still in limbo?
No, we completed interviews,
Oh.
so just.
But this isn't the one?
No.
Okay.
No.
So we can just wait till next time? Or do we need to do it?
Well, this is
This is
to,
a
so she was originally board approved.
Oh, this is resignation.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is a
okay.
resignation,
Okay.
so we need to approve
Alright.
her resignation.
Make it formal, and then, knowing that there were interviews held, and we'll have a full recommendation this coming month, so.
Okay. I'll make the motion to approve the resignation.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And hire and recommendations, read and listen for middle school boys basketball coach. Can I get a motion?
All motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
So if we can go back, who made the motion, John? Second, I'm taking notes.
Carolyn and Scott.
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, consider acceptance of donations as presented.
Some
So it
wonderful
looks
donors
like,
there.
we have Roger and Jane Nelson donated to track $2,500. Christine Hansold, is it Hansold?
Yep.
Student accounts for $50. Kay Demars and Ed Mueller, is it?
Yeah,
Mueller?
Demers and, yeah, Ed Mueller. So, there's a couple that we met at open house. They live here during the summer and, just like to donate towards schools. I believe, Kay was, worked in a school district previously. They just felt the need to, donate to the schools.
Are these for delinquent meal accounts?
We would use those towards those student accounts, yes.
Okay, and that was 500.
Jack.
All right, can I get a motion to accept all presented donations?
All motion.
For a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, fall sports co-op. Can I get a motion to approve the sports co-op for the 26-27 school year, so this will be
Check.
next year.
Yeah, and just a caveat to this, the written down, or the actual signing of the agreement happens every other year. We did that formal signing last year, but this is just a continuation that we're still approving what we've signed, so.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
And the second is?
All second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, policy updates, volume 34, number 2, group 1, first reading.
Was this a first reading from the committee?
Yep.
Okay,
That's
so
correct.
this is our approval now.
Yep. So,
I thought we discussed one of them,
I think it was,
Board member behavior.
no, I think it was wasn't it an employee leave or something? Or something in there?
the employee leaves, I know that, Leah and I have been working on that, that is something you will see next month.
Okay.
So,
So are we still voting on that one then, or is that one gonna be changing? Cause that's in here, employee leaves.
let me get to that. There. Yeah, the 3431 is, that needs to be taken off because that was changed up along with 3432 as well as 4431 and 4432.
So those will be on next time instead.
That is correct. That is
Well, can we get a motion to approve this group minus the 3431?
I'll make the motion.
I will second.
Any discussion anymore on it?
Did we get a second? I'll
Yeah.
second.
No, I can't.
Sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright, equipment use agreement. This is the one, oh, you got the appendix?
We do. After some discussion, I developed that appendix with use of
Canoes.
said items, where it's vehicles as well as recreational equipment. This was provided to.
I don't know, we got a 250 truck.
So,
Wish I had a
Yeah.
Is this something we have to approve every year?
it is not. It's a one and done kind of deal, unless there's changes that need to be made, so.
So I think before we had $1.
That is
And now it's a
correct.
nominal cost, so, which is the same thing in
No.
my mind, but.
It starts off with, okay, it is $1. That
Okay.
hasn't changed in there. I think it says nominal upfront.
Yeah.
But then it specifies $1 later on.
Okay.
so.
Alright,
So term of agreement, this agreement is effective October 1st, 25, and will remain in effect until June 30th, 2026.
Unless we change it. So, I'm sorry, are we talking about the appendix or the?
No,
actual
the
motion?
term of
agreement.
agreement.
The term of agreement.
Unless terminated earlier by either party.
It-
I mean, is it something that we?
This is something that I've put together. It's something that we can take a look at annually. Or if we wanna change the end date to whenever, I mean, we certainly can. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if we can leave it indefinite, and then either party can terminate the indefinite period
Okay.
if they wanna do it that way.
That's what I would do.
Okay,
And we can approve it with that change.
we can.
So then it can take effect October 1st.
Was there I feel like we talked about, was there like a percentage of usage? That
It
was
was,
maybe-
it was restricting for those specific, well, not specifics, but
Priorities.
being very,
Charters
very.
get the first
very
Priorities
limited.
get priority.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So they
think
get the priority, but it wasn't necessarily a percentage of usage
That's
had to
correct.
be balanced out.
That's
Okay.
correct. I think the big caveat on that was the bus, that we were definitely not gonna use that for our routes.
Mhm.
It was strictly going to be like extracurricular trips.
And how about like the maintenance? Is that still gonna fall under?
That's still gonna be here, so,
Okay.
yeah.
That's why we're only paying $1 nominal cost. Yeah. All right. Oh, I get to sign this.
You need a first and second.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve the equipment use agreement.
With the
As
change in date.
changed, as discussed.
I'll
With
second.
End date change
Mhm.
to indefinite. Okay. John,
Who seconded?
Scott.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Charter school teacher lead meeting notes.
okay. So getting into that, I had a discussion with Brandon and Ida on Wednesday, and a lot of great things came from that discussion, but I will say that it is not finalized yet at this point in time. I added some points to the notes there, just as part of the discussion, but they're not prepared to provide a recommendation when it comes to actual compensation pay or whatnot. 'Cause I think we want to explore different avenues on what this could potentially look like, so just asking that this be tabled.
Okay. I'm okay, is everybody okay with that, table it? Okay. All right, table it is. All right, can we get a motion to convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.851C to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility?
Make the motion.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are in closed session. Hold on to that thought.